What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Over the weekend, we saw leaks come out for Ghosts from the Past already. This is a set that has been delayed, but somehow it seems somebody got their hands on a couple of things that may be in here. Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. I have this blown up on the screen for you so that you can try to judge yourself, and people are saying it looks too perfect, not enough pack error lines, not enough scuffs. I see scratches down near the bottom left of the cape and other things going on here. And then we also see Dark Magician. If this is true, this is freaking huge for the set. And along with it, we also saw Arm Dragon level 10 already confirmed in the set, as well as the Ghost Rare for Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. So not a ton of reveals all at once. This has happened in the past before with Dual Power most recently, where some Instagrammer got their hands on a bunch of leaks and put them out there and that sort of stuff. So with this, there's suddenly a huge surge of hype. Whether it's real or not, I personally, my own opinion, think they're real. These don't look like the DDS Blue Eyes or 10,000 Dragon Pigs. These look very, very convincing, and there was video evidence of them. So, a lot of people of the same opinion have been going for runs on this set. Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market now has some of the cheapest left at $550. You can use code WhatsGood5 on a case, and also Tier 0 sold out the other night, but put these back in stock today at $594. If you're international, code WhatsGood5 also gives you 5% off. Supporting the channel directly for the cards and getting you a discount. So let's go over what's happening here, though. These reveals don't determine the ratios or how often they'll appear in the set and what's going to happen from there on. And for comparables of prices, you can't really throw the dart at the dartboard. This is already sold out, it seems, at the distro level, and we don't know how shorting and allocation may affect this product that was already pushed back. We should assume, since it was pushed back, that it will be fulfilling everybody's orders, but you no longer can pretty much order anymore unless your distro over-ordered in anticipation. And with all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fails that have been happening lately, I don't necessarily see that a lot of distros would do that, but the March reprint set is one of the most over-ordered sets usually of the year. That being said, what are the Ghost Rare prices going to be, John? We just can't tell. We don't know if it's a 1 per case ratio on Ghost Rares, which a lot of people are assuming it is, but then if it's 1 per case, there's, count them, 5 different Ghost Rares that would be in the set, and we only know 3 of them so far. Funny enough, the BLS link being on the bottom of the totem pole. Also, I know reading is very hard for Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, myself included, so we want to look at this line down here, 5 of which will appear only as Ghost Rares, so no budget BLS link. For some reason, people started fire selling their secret rares down to 60. Those got snapped off the market in a second, but that does not give us a budget alternative. But I do hope that since we're getting a nice rarity of it, it's on Konami's reprint radar, it will head towards Battles of Legend maybe, but no guarantees on a budget version of this. But we did see Arm Dragon level 10 also become ultimate rare, and Konami giving a lot of looks, double looks at certain cards they've been going after and reprinting. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon most recently appeared in Legendary Duelist Season 2 and is Ghost Rare in here. So I do think Konami will have eyes on reprinting it somewhere else later, but I wouldn't be panic selling. I would just be selling if you're really worried about that future reprint. So let's go ahead and go back into ratios. Let's assume it's 1 per case. Well, there's 5 different ones, meaning an RNG of, you know, having Chase, probably Dark Magician on top if Blue Eyes isn't in there. If Blue Eyes started at Kaiba art is in there, then Blue Eyes probably will be on top, but we're still speculating here. So the Dark Magician alone was enough hype within this reveal to have people make a mad dash at this. And we only have one kind of competitor in recent history to go off of, and that's the Winged Dragon of Ra that came Ghost Rare. But this bad boy was 1 per case for the most part. Every 10th case would be missing a Ghost Rare for whatever reason it seemed like on ratios, but he's just by himself, and he creates this kind of demand at $200 without the Slifer or Obelisk around yet. Now imagine what Dark Magician will do in one of the most ripped open sets. To tell what the Ghost Rare prices are going to be is just difficult because the Ghost Rare market itself is overinflated. So if you have a Chase Ghost that is 1 out of every 5 cases, which we still don't know if that's the case, that would be pretty crazy because you have 5 different ghosts. But we'll have to wait and see the pull rates and see how that's going to pan out. People are definitely jumping the gun, but understandably so with how hyped this set is coming out to be with just the Ghost Rares. What do you guys think? Are the leaks real? Do you think? I personally do think they look way too good. They would be some of the best like forgeries in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh universe ever to have come out, but technology has progressed. I just kind of on my radar, I'm buying it, but what do you guys think of everything and the movement? And are you going to jump faster on Ghost from the Past, or are you going to chill out, wait to see the other go, see what happens, wait for ratios? Might be paying a little more if you are, but we will wait and see. You could be paying less depending. Getting into the set that did come out for the sneak peek, premiere event, whatever you want to call it, and is now coming out this week fully, we saw Blazing Vortex create a lot of demand for the cards from the sneak peek hype. People got some of their cards, went online and bought even more of them. Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily has restocked several times. They've had to push up the price of Underworld Goddess just to keep some in stock. They're now at 40, still cheapest on market. What's Good 5, of course, working over here for 5% off to support the channel as well. But I want to point out something they've really not pushed up in price, and I'm kind of proud of them on, and you guys should probably get cheaper sooner than later if you think they are going to stay up in price, and that's Kit and Psychic Eraser Laser. I'm not the biggest Psychic Eraser Laser fan. I just don't think it's that great of a card, but I get why people's intuition of, oh, this is the modern smashing ground finally, why people are looking at it. It's non-targeting, sending, removal. That's pretty cool. And then Kit really coming out and helping the Tri-Brigade engine overall. You can see over on TCG Player, these have stayed pretty steady. $3, $3.50. They've hung above that $3 mark for Chasius super rares, but that's along the lines of like Crackdown and Mystic Mine. So I don't necessarily see them staying here, but I do think 80 cents, actually less than 80 cents with the code, is a pretty darn good deal to go ahead and grab. While you're shopping for other things, you might as well add a playset to your cart, or if you're going deep, you think this is one of the greatest penny stocks, go for it, but I think there's a reason Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily hasn't sold out at these prices. I don't think there's the most surplus demand for them, but enough demand to keep them up in price over here. Blazing Vortex just lacks so much value, and we're seeing a lot more things fall out. That Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 hanging in there, though, as we've been pointing out, and everything else on a downward position except for Underworld Goddess from the original sneak peek listings. Also, if you're buying Starlight rares, don't freaking jump the gun. They have them over here too at a pretty good price on Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily, but the Starlight Market has been wavering. It's been suffering, which we will point out later in this market watch, but I've heard the stories of overpaying on Trishula and other Starlights. Look at this. They're charging 200s on the lower end ones, and I think our Thunder might be pretty good to have long-term, possibly. We'll wait and see. Trishula, people arguing dual terminal ultimate rare. This one, what'll come out on top? They have it at 300, and then the Pot of Prosperity all the way down to 450 here. Adamancipator Researcher and several other cards have had multiple buyouts happening on them and revolving. We see one Brave Lister here. Sea Turtle cards, you get a shout out. $22, doesn't care about the rest of the market, but Researcher up towards 40 now for everybody else. Everybody's just putting it higher. They're selling out of these. There's just this demand for this deck once again. Prank kids, mix it up, go in, and I do think it's pretty fun to watch that deck do its work. Blue Eyes White Dragon. I have a ton of the structure deck sealed first edition somewhere in the house that I'm gonna go have to dig up, but the first edition of this is now upwards towards 40 with the unlims. I think, yeah, around $10. People love their Blue Eyes collections. It's not a one-for-one with Charizard with how many times arts get reprinted of our Blue Eyes White Dragons, but you can see there's plenty of unlims because this structure got rewaved, I think, multiple times between this duels pack Yugi creation blocks and just out on Walmart shelves again. But looking for the cheapest first editions, you notice we're getting pretty deep here. $42 freaking dollars, and I've seen some people really overpay on eBay on the first ed of this. So if you have this, it's one of those cards could be sitting in the back of your binder. You're like, oh yeah, that's like $3, and you've been tuning out. You haven't seen Blue Eyes go up and up and up in price time and time again. First edition ulti is really up there for a structure deck pull. 10 Cyber Dragon, one of my actual favorite versions of Cyber Dragon, has been rebought out past the $20 mark into almost the $40 point. It'll be really interesting to see some of these 10 promos fall back out. Like Buster Blader was mentioned on stream, and I wonder if it is still there. But Buster Blader's 10 promo version got bought out multiple times, and we do see a market price of 25, so maybe somebody did go in. But it had fell back down to $20-ish, so we'll see how that's going for it. And and people just kind of, like, yeah, you saw near mint limited 22, and there was one on the last page. So this is one of those things where people kind of turn away, or other people come in and list, and those buyouts don't necessarily hold under market price for something that's old and people bought out to a greater extent to have that higher market price. It will be a ride, but I have this to say about them. I underestimated them at first, and it makes a lot of sense as that sealed product goes up a ton. And having that sealed is really special. What's the main guarantee in any of those that's nostalgic? It is the promos themselves, so it makes sense that they go up over time, but there's just been such a huge run on them. Legendary 6 Samurai Shi-In Secret Rare from Spirit Warriors is around $10 after a buyout. That was kind of an interesting call. You can see the market prices for a lot of nostalgia running in past format stuff starting to happen. I wonder when we will see past formats actually take the stage in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's a constant question. Drytron Nova is down in price a little bit, although it, you know, the whole first page is actually under the price it was at recently. It's not really giving the results that it once was, and a lot of people seem bored of playing it or relying on Vanity Ruler and backup. So we do see the price actually going down on Drytrons, both between a less amount of them being played and then results kind of wavering for this deck too. Kind of wild. And finally, talking about the Starlight Market again, I noticed that there's a little run on the Phantom Rage Starlights as they finally bottomed out and we head towards a new set. I wanted to point out Hida is almost half the price of all of her sisters, as the Earth Charmer even has gone up. So I do feel like Hida is a pretty darn good buy using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. I need like a sellout counter. Every time I do a sellout that supports the channel and benefits you or is free, like, we need a little counter on there. But my point being is that Hida is starting to run lower on listings, yet doesn't just skyrocket in price immediately. It takes a bit. If you've been dragging your feet on getting this and you've been kind of scared of the Starlight Market, I'm seeing some rebounds in certain places while other things continue to nosedive. Phantom Rage finally getting more looks. Like, we've seen much cheaper prices on some of them, or the quantities are also running out. Zeus, an obvious target, heat up, but then other ones like Alpha, wow, 27 listings, and it just ain't looking so hot for Alpha here on the market. It's good for you guys if you want them cheap. That's amazing, especially a card that you should be getting in play sets, but not a bad thing to have in your back pocket. I do think Hida would be one of the best Starlight calls to go in on as people turn their attention towards Blazing Vortex if you're going for big boy buys. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation, and it's just too big to ignore. The Ghost from the Past conversation here, I gotta give it to them. If they've duped me, they duped me. I really do think those leaks are real. Only time's going to tell, though. I want to hear all your opinions on Ghost from the Past, and it's so hard to call ratios. We don't know until we bust that bad boy open.